Hi everyone, my name's Dan Gregg. I'm going to read to you from the Good News of Messiah, starting at the beginning. Besorat HaMashiach, Besorat HaMarit HaHadashah Shel Mashiach, Ke'umunat HaMashiach, Lahidesh et Berit Olam, the good news of the new-made covenant of Messiah, according to the faithfulness of Messiah to make new the covenant of old. Matthew, Mattiyahu, chapter 1. The scroll of the begettings of Yeshua the Anointed, son of Dawid, son of Abraham. Abraham fathered Yitzhak, Yitzhak fathered Yaakov, and Yaakov fathered Yehuda and his brothers. And Yehuda fathered Perez and Zerach from Tamar. And Perez fathered Hesron, and Hesron fathered Ram. And Ram fathered Aminadav, and Aminadav fathered Nachshon. And Nachshon fathered Salmon. And Salmon fathered Boaz from Rahav. And Boaz fathered Oved from Root. And Oved fathered Yishai, and Yishai fathered Dawid the king. And Dawid fathered Shlomo, the wife of Uriah. And Shlomo fathered Rehoboam, and Rehoboam fathered Aviah. And Aviah fathered Asa. And Asa fathered Jehoshaphat, and Jehoshaphat fathered Joram, and Joram fathered Uzziyahu, and Uzziyahu fathered Jotham, and Jotham fathered Ahaz, and Ahaz fathered Yehizkiyahu, and Yehizkiyahu fathered Manasseh, and Manasseh fathered Ammon, and Ammon fathered Yoshiyahu, and Yoshiyahu fathered Yochanyahu and his brothers, before the time of the deportation to Babel. And after the deportation to Babel, Yechonyahu fathered Shealtiel, and Shealtiel fathered Zerubbabel. And Zerubbabel fathered Avihud, and Avihud fathered Eliakim, and Eliakim fathered Azur. And Azur fathered Zadok, and Zadok fathered Yakim, and Yakim fathered Elihud, and Elihud fathered Eleazar, and Eleazar fathered Matan, and Matan fathered Yaakov, and Yaakov fathered Yosef, the husband of Miriam, from whom has been born Yeshua, who is called the Anointed One. So all the generations from Abraham through Dawid are 14 generations, and from Dawid up to the Babeli deportation are 14 generations, and from the Babeli deportation through the Anointed are 14 generations. And the birth of Yeshua, the Anointed One, was happening like this. His mother Miriam, having been betrothed to Yosef before either of them came together, was found pregnant from the Holy Spirit. And Yosef, her husband, being righteous and not willing to make her an example, had been decided to dismiss her secretly. And when he considered these things, behold, the messenger of Yahweh was seen by him in a dream, saying, Yosef, son of David, Yosef, son of David, you should not fear to take Miriam, your wife, because he which has been conceived in her is from the Holy Spirit, and she will bear a son, and you will call his name Yeshua, because he will rescue his people from their sins. And all this had been happening, so that the thing uttered through the prophet will have been fulfilled by the mouth of Yahweh, saying, Behold, the virgin will be with child, and will bear a son, and they will call his name Emmanuel, which being translated means God is with us. And when Yosef was risen from his sleep, he did as the messenger of Yahweh commanded him, and received his wife. And he was not knowing her until she gave birth to the firstborn son, and called his name Yeshua. Okay, the notes on chapter 1. Okay, on verse 1, footnote theta, Yeshua. Okay, so you can't see this. Yeshua is marked with a breve and all the following words also. Yeshua, anointed, Father, Son, Spirit, Almighty, Yahweh, Adonai, Master, Adon, Adoni, Lord, Sir. The breve mark indicates where the original text marked a nomina sacra, indicating the divinity of the person. Titled or named, and additionally that the Hebrew may be substituted, Yehoshua or Yeshua, Mashiach, Abba, Ben, Bain, Ruach, Elohim, or El or Adonai, Adon, Adoni. It is not known how many nomina sacra there were originally. On verse 5, and Salmon fathered Boaz from Rahav. Footnote mark beta. 10 or more unrecorded generations were skipped at beta, that is, between Salmon and Boaz, and also in earlier lists covering about 300 years. See Deuteronomy 23:3. Between Joram and Uzziahu, 3 kings that committed iniquity are skipped: Ahaziah, Joash, Amaziah, and after Yoshiahu, Jehoiakim is skipped. David is honored to be counted twice. Jeconiah is cut off from the count in verse 11. See Jeremiah 22:24 and Haggai 2:23, but counted in verse 12. The 14-14-14 structure was a useful checksum. Verse 12. Gamma, Shealtiel, was born of kinsman marriage. The ransom father was Neri, and the mother Yokanyahu's widow, because Yokanyahu was childless at his death. Jeremiah 22:30. Zerubbabel also had 2 fathers. The ransom father was Pedaiah, 1 Chronicles 3:13, because Shealtiel must have been childless at death, and his widow became the wife of Pedaiah. The 2 fathers, one legally and one biologically. Okay, so the one that does the kinsman marriage is the biological father, and the father who died, who wasn't the biological father, gave his name to the son born of the marriage. Verse 17. Kai, 14 generations. So if you look at verse 2 and 6, 6b and 10, 12 and 16, you will see subscripts 1 and 14. Okay, so that tells you where to start the numbering of 14 and end the numbering of 14. And that's repeated 3 times in the text. All right. Verse 20, row. Okay. That's tagged on the messenger of Yahweh. Okay, so compare the Syriac Maria, okay, which means Ha-Adonai. See Daniel 4:1 for the paradigm. Okay, Amimaya, Umiya, and Lashanaya. Okay, so the Y sound on the end of the word for Lord is a plural marker, intensive plural emphatic, and the is a definite article, or the emphatic in Aramaic. The emphatic ending makes the word definite, i.e. the Lord, and the plural makes it majestic, the Lord. See 1 Corinthians 16:22. The poor similarity of Yah and Mar-Yah to Yah is transmuted by false teachers to Mar-Yah. In other words, they think it represents the divine name, but it doesn't. Note on 121, Gamma, Yeshua. Yeshua means Yahweh is salvation. Note on 123a. So that would be the citation for the quotation, which is in all caps in the text, is Isaiah 7:14. Note 123b is Isaiah 8:8 and 10. Okay, yeah, that's, which means God with us. Okay. And let's see, 123 phi. Okay, that note is on the word they. Behold, the virgin will be with child and will bear a son, and they will call his name Emmanuel. They will call is correct. Isaiah 7:14 does not say she will have called, but you will have called, using a different vowel pointing. Karata, you, collective singular, refers to the house of David, which Matthew correctly interprets in the third person plural, they. Singular pronouns are often used in Hebrew to express plural entities. Also note that the future perfect in Isaiah is rendered by the simple future by Matthew, showing the meaning is future. You will have called refers to the house of David, Isaiah 7:13, and transcends, and thus transcends the time of Ahaz. Upon the king's refusal to ask for a sign, little throat clearing there. Upon the king's refusal to ask for a sign is predicated anyway, or predicted anyway, but it is not given to the king. It is given to the house of David, so did not have to be immediately fulfilled. Curd and honey he will eat, because he knows refusing the bad and choosing the good, because he will be the Almighty Son. Then the son that Yeshayahu brought with him to the meeting with Ahaz is the subject of the prophecy in verse 7:16 through 25, and not the future virgin's son. Emmanuel is addressed in 8, 8, and 10, but not as the prophesied child of the virgin. He was there to witness the invasion because he was there before he was born of the virgin. Then verse 17 says, I will have awaited Yahweh who is hiding his face from the house of Yaakov. This means they will not find him if they keep believing lies. footnote on verse 24. Okay, I'll read the verse again. And when Yosef was risen from his sleep, he did as the messenger of Yahweh commanded him, and received his wife. All right, see, Kasi. Is there a footnote mark floating around in there somewhere? 124. Okay, I guess Kasi is actually on verse 25. Okay. See Luke 2:7 and Psalm 89:27 and Colossians 1:15. So that's talking about the word firstborns, also used in a sense of status. Okay, besides being literal, which is literal here. Okay, verse 25. And he was not knowing her until from it she gave birth to the firstborn son and called his name Yeshua. Okay, so from it, what does it refer to? And he was not knowing her until from it. Okay, so this is a translation of the majority text, and I got a few codes down here for other manuscripts, and also the Disciples Literal and New Testament. So it refers to the Holy Spirit, the Ruach HaKodesh. Okay, in Greek, the Spirit is a neuter, a genderless pronoun is used for the Holy Spirit. Okay, but if we were writing Hebrew, we would have to use masculine or feminine, so we would have to go probably use a feminine, or we could probably use a feminine pronoun for it, because Ruach is a feminine word in Hebrew. Okay, so the notes continue on to chapter 2, so that's chapter 1, Matthew chapter 1. So I guess that's enough for this video. Thank you for listening. Dan Gregg, over and out.